In this episode, I'm gonna explain how I added the product details page and how I use the Angular router to open this other details page. So before showing the actual implementation, the source code, let's check out how it works. As defined here. So when you click any of this is the home direction, so that is when you open the application, it automatically redirects to the products page, and then here you can click any of the products and then it opens the details page, where I used Angular materials card component. I copied it from the examples, and here you can see the price in euros and the description and the like button and the share button, and I also included a anchor tag button to link back to the products page. So in the links you can see that the products/1, this is the component, the product ID, so that is the link, and then this is the way we can go back. Of course the back button works too. So going then to the application, this was actually what I have implemented, adding this navigation. 80% I created, so this was my inspiration, and of course I significantly modified it, and my version is a lot more complete, and I also use this Angular material card component, and this is the card component. I copied from here the HTML part, and I modified it accordingly for the requirements. And then going to the source code, let's review what I have done. I also, as usual, created a get detailed description of the steps I've created. So this was generating the product details component. I use the usual generate component, but what I've also done here, that you can notice that all of the subfolders from the up folder are removed. That is, when I created this component, Angular creates this component ES file within a subfolder. However, I simply moved it, relocated that file over to the up level, and then the Visual Studio Code automatically suggested to update all the import references. So it was quite easy to relocate and get rid of all these subfolders. So for these simple applications, I prefer to use this folderless layout. So that's also supported. You may wonder, maybe the flat option can be used with the generate component. Actually it doesn't. So when you create a component, Angular always creates Angular always creates a folder under the app folder, so it won't work. So that's why this is a manual work after installation, after the creation. The next important part was uh, which is the normal. I created an app constant and types um, file where I relocated the product definition from this demo data file, because for an application this is an important type definition which is used in a number of components. So therefore, and also I modified the products TS, that is, I am importing this product type definition here from this file, and I also explicitly defined here, said that this products array should conform to the array of product list, because originally it was missing. So this guarantees here that even if you modify and change something here, then the mm, the type definition remains important. I don't really understand why the original developers left it out, but now I have corrected this, let me say it, error or bad practice. So every time when you define a const, unless you are absolutely sure that what you are doing, you should always define what do you mean with this definition, what type should be expected this value, this variable or const should have. So back to this up constant type. So the reason I need it is that when coming back to the application, as you see, these are the route text, the route names, products, and possibly in the later in this application you will have additional route names. And I hate and usually application, I mean enterprise level, enterprise quality production system should contain constant definitions. Here I use simple enumerations where the product will have the products and home as the home. So this way, when defining in the app module TS the routes, here I import these route names and route params from this constant types, app constant and types, and here I apply these constant definitions. So therefore now my application is free of modification, and it consistently used. That is no typos, mistyping, and so on and so forth. The special character slash, of course, is important to use accordingly. I just learned that the path definition cannot start with a slash. That's why these slashes are not included in these definitions. And I also included here a redirect path definition. So that is when the user just visits a page without defining the any route. This route automatically redirects to the products list. So it's usually this is the last item in the list of, and here it's mandatory to define the path match definition. Yep. Yep, that was the route definition in the app modules. Then the component, this details component, which I created, actually this one. Yep, this component looks like so. Here I included into a div section with a style of 16 pixels of the more padding, This is important. Then the header is just an h2 tag, and then comes the mat card, which I copied from the Angular material card example page, and the rest is just regular text. However, keep in mind that when I executed this, I always followed here the steps that however, when I applied these steps as described here, I made significant modifications according to my style. I wanted to add, for example, mat card instead of just this regular div and this type of sections. I kept the image here. I have kept an example of the how to define the styles here. Example header image where the background image example Shibal JPG and the background size cover was used for where here mat card avatar, because this is a circle, a small division, and then this is how it's laid out. What else do I have here? Here comes the mat card content, the content, the description, and then I kept the two buttons which came from the example template, and the only thing I changed, that I changed it to an icon buttons, and also I created from the previous lessons I've worked with the output, how to define clickable components, and then these clicks would call the parent components functions. So there, that was this output section. That is whenever, for example, this like button is clicked, here the like button click function is called with the product as a parameter. Then here I immediately display a toaster, and also if there is a like observer listener to this, actually this is a listenable object or an observable object, then a message is going to be sent to it. This is called emit with the parameter of the product. So this way, in this application at this stage, these are not used, these outputs are not used. Maybe another version later it would be used. So here I just wanted to demonstrate that this component can be directly embedded into or under another component, and then directly can be linked with the share and the like button. And also added a third button, which is an anchor tag button. Keep in mind that it is interesting that the material, Angular material styles can be applied not only to the button but also anchor tags, where the router link just simply goes back to the home. I could have also included here the product route params, but I decided just simply use the home, and that's why I gave the name here this home icon, so possibly products. If later of course it changes not to the product but something else, maybe it could have been better just to name it to my store. And okay, that's a great point. Let's just rename it to home. Yep, that's the correct way. Yes, this is how it should look like, because actually it really goes back to the home page, and in our situation this home is redirected to the products page. But then this component is not responsible, it's not its job to decide what's happening. The only thing that it does, here is a link that wants to go back to the home, and then from that home whatever redirection is applicable is none of the business of this component. Right, that was it. And what else do I have? I think I covered more or less. One thing, let's just have a quick look of the constructor. In this constructor of the product details component, also the link I should explain. The constructor has two injected components. So that is when a component is displayed, initialized, or how to say, created via the router, then this active route component is automatically injected into this constructor. And because we are using also this toaster service, so this toaster service is automatically included in each of our application where we define this interface. So I think that's really an excellent automatic machinery from Angular dependency injection machinery. And what is again a good sign that the designers of this Angular architecture had significant experience. What are the important components, what are the important elements, of a enterprise level application? And definitely this kind of factory machinery, that was how we called them in the past, but today the fancier name is dependency injection is automatically part of this framework, unlike other frameworks. So definitely I'm becoming a fan of this Angular. And because in my opinion this is a lot more thought out, a lot better elaborated system than any other frameworks. It's not perfect, but it's quite okay. So far so good. And yep, and then this is also important part here is how to trigger the router. Here I had this material line router link. So that is the route name, comma, PID. This is how this router link is initialized here in this example. And the route name came from the route from the component. Again, remember, in when I imported my constants and types, it's not enough just to write here that route names dot products or whatever. No, first you have to create a variable, a member variable in the component class, initialize it like so, route names and products. I had to include this slash to make it working. So just adding route names.products, here it didn't work. Maybe there is a better solution, I don't know. I'm not really a big expert in this route wizardry, but this way it works. And I think that's quite okay that route names products is coming from my definition. And usually when we want to exploit and use a router link, yeah, I'm pretty sure we should use apply a slash where this route is coming from. Now, what is the actual destination of that route? Right. I think that was all from this part, and let's just check out what were the modifications. I explained the modules, the constant and types also explained, the product alerts components. Of course, it shows that is a new, yes, because I removed it from under a subfolder, so that's why they are included here as mm, completely new modules. And then alert component, this detail component is really new. This is what I have created. And this products DS, I just explained that I removed this product over to my app constant and types, and that, just check out, I think that was a big no-no, that this product wasn't initialized for the type, and I think that's absolutely a good practice, just to give it yes that this structure should conform. So what was weird when I noticed that this missing, that the interface was defined here, but actually it wasn't used for the definition of the products. Anyhow, I don't want to go into the details. Which I love very much with TypeScript is that when the shape of an object matches to this interface, then for it it's absolutely okay. So you don't have to explicitly define the interface, because in TypeScript and in JavaScript, because TypeScript compiles over to JavaScript, and in JavaScript there are no runtime type checking, at least not for interfaces, because in JavaScript there is no such a concept of interfaces. So that was the solution, which honestly I love so much, and the top bar component similar. So that was all, my friends. So that was really a significant move. Keep in mind that in this application, because this phone XL is the anchor tag, the description. Let me just go back home. When I just click here, it doesn't work. However, when I click on the upper part, because this is the link, this phone XL is the link, the user should click it there to be able to navigate. So if she just clicks around here, yeah. Anyhow, so take care.